Hi, my name is Ch3 and I was unfortunately not able to meet with my group, so I am doing my individual recording. And I will start off with my two roses for this week. I would say one thing that I was really happy about is that I was able to read. I had a book called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I believe it's a Greek philosopher. I'm barely on like the introduction, so I don't know too much, but I'm happy I got started. It's really hard for me to read, so good thing there. Another one would be that well, it's gonna happen tomorrow, but I guess it's still a rose. Is that I'm gonna go see my friends after a good month and a half, I think, of not meeting them. So I'm excited. And two thorns would be that I am a little bit behind on one of my classes. I have to take certain reading quizzes, and I just haven't got into it. And the other thing that I guess would be a thorn is that I was supposed to get this job as a phone banker for, I know it's for voting, but I think it's also for like impacted youth who are voting. So sorry if there's noise in the background. I don't know why people are doing that right now, but I didn't. I don't. I don't know. I haven't received a message whether I got it or not. But considering that I have class on Tuesday evenings and like they need me on Tuesday, I don't. I don't know if I got it. So I guess that's a thorn for me. Moving on to part two, I would say for the first one, if you had to pick one standard that is the most important for objective scholars, what would it be and why? Okay, so for this one, I wrote in my notes that I think quantitative research is the most important standard, since scientists have to since they have to find, firstly they have to, of course, find their findings, and then they have to measure and report concrete data and use that as their evidence. And I think doing that rather than doing doing that but using experiments and surveys and statistics and basically numbers, I think having that evidence-based research just shows that it's more reliable and accurate, and I feel like that would be a high priority in that situation. And then for number two, I had put that I think qualitative research is the most important for interpretive scholars, since again it's evidence-based, and even though they're not using pure numbers and it's more linguistic based, I think using textual analysis and I don't know how to say it correctly, but ethnography, I think scholars are able to convince their audiences of what their research is trying to tell them. And I think at the end of the day, you just need evidence really to back up your claims. So that, I think that's why I put that for number two. And for number three, after watching the TED Talk and reading the first three chapters, I see my language shaping my reality in I see it affecting my reality. I don't know exactly how it's shaping it though. I don't I could be wrong. I think probably when I was younger I was more biased towards things. Right now I feel like I'm not, because I've unlearned a lot of things I was taught, but I've noticed that since I've been taking this class and another class in which we've been talking about how language shapes your reality, I have noticed that my language gives more priority to masculine gender terms, or I guess anything that's masculine, considering that. And I got this from thinking about my religion, because in my religion we have 10 gurus, and every time I know that I've had to name one of the gurus, or I've heard the name being spoken out loud, there's always a emphasis on this one word that is, it basically, it's like there for respect. I don't know exactly how you would like, I don't know how to exactly explain it, but it's just an additional word that you would add to the full name of the guru, and then it's just for respect. And I guess I noticed that when it comes to male religious figures, that one word, which is G, it's Ji, it's added at the end. And I've noticed that with other religious figures that, you know, female religious figures, I've noticed it's not there. And I mean, I could be wrong, but from the few that I've seen, I haven't seen it. So I think um, there is that gap, and I think it's really weird because our religion promotes equality, and it doesn't really gender the God, like our like. So since my religion is monotheistic, we don't even gender the God as in like he's my God. We don't really give it that pronoun. So considering that fact, I thought that aspect of my language, I guess giving more priority to masculine words was kind of weird. And so I guess this is really making me think about who I am and, you know, what I say and what that really means to me. So I would say that's my answer for that one. And then for number 4, what was my biggest takeaway from the conversation with Amanda? I always really like the conversations since both professors are speaking, and I really like their takes on everything. I think the biggest thing for me was understanding what relative simplicity was, and how understanding that can basically make you understand the difference between a scientific theory and a conspiracy theory, because I know sometimes there's a lot of misinformation or just too much information, and it becomes confusing, like what's real, what's not. And I think having that as one of the components of scientific theory is just really important. And I wasn't able to exactly understand at first, and the way she explained it, using an example of a conspiracy theory, I think it really helped me.